The Egyptian president calls for the resumption of the U.S.-Iran negotiations. Egypt signs a $1.6 billion renewable energy private sector support deals. Egypt is selected as one of the 7 countries to benefit from the CIF's $1 billion industrial decarbonization program to cut emissions in developing nations. And Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has reaffirmed the need to halt the Israeli military operations. That came during his call with the Cypriot President Nikos Christodoulidis, where their discussion focused on regional issues. President el-Sisi emphasized Egypt's complete rejection of the escalating conflicts. He urged the international community to play a more active role in promoting responsibility among regional parties, advocating for peaceful solutions. The Egyptian president also called for a return to the U.S.-Iran negotiations while stressing the importance of a comprehensive resolution to the Palestinian cause. And Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi also met with the CEO of the International Finance Corporation, Mukhtar Diop, alongside Deputy President Ethiopia Tafara and Minister Rania El-Mashot. President el-Sisi praised the IFC's collaboration with Egypt and emphasized the need for continued partnership amid regional challenges. They discussed enhancing investment flows and competitive financing for the private sector, while the IFC CEO commended Egypt's economic reforms that boost investor confidence. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met with the chairman of the board of directors of the Martyrs and Victims Honoring Fund, Major General Sayyid El-Ghali, and the Executive Director, Major General Ahmed El-Ash'al. President el-Sisi reviewed the fund's services and upcoming initiatives, stressing the need to enhance its offerings and resource management. He approved the Egypt with You initiative for minor children of martyrs, ensuring their financial investment for future benefits. President el-Sisi also emphasized honoring all sacrifices made by military personnel and civilians, directing higher education to provide scholarships for beneficiaries. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has announced that Egypt has significantly ramped up efforts to safeguard its energy supply in light of escalating tensions between Israel and Iran. Madbouli said the emergency plans were now in effect to protect the national electricity network and avoid power outages. Egypt has tripled its liquefied natural gas regasification capacity compared to last summer, increasing from 1 to 3 operational vessels. 2 new floating regasification units, one launching in Ain al-Sukhna on June the 27th or 28th, and another arriving in early July, will raise daily capacity to 2.25 billion cubic feet. The country has also doubled its reserves of mazout fuel from last year, with an additional shipments expected in the coming weeks. Madbouli called for the public cooperation in energy conservation. The Military Attachés Agency hosted a special visit for the Arab and foreign military representatives accredited in Egypt to several military sites. During the visit, the delegates highlighted the critical role of Egypt's air defense forces in securing the nation's airspace. They also met with Lieutenant General Yasser El-Tudi, commander of the Air Defense, to discuss the force's strategic contributions. The visiting military officials emphasized that such visits are vital for understanding the armed forces' capabilities, strengthening military ties, and exploring new avenues for collaboration. The Egyptian Parliament Speaker, Dr. Hanafi El-Gabali, has condemned Israel's military aggression against Iranian territories, labeling it a blatant violation of international law. He emphasized the need for political solutions to regional crises and reaffirmed Egypt's unwavering support for the Palestinian rights. Gabali also warned against unauthorized protests near the Egyptian border, stressing the importance of respecting Egypt's sovereignty and laws. And Russian ambassador to Egypt, Georgy Borisenko, emphasized Russia's commitment to strengthening ties with Egypt and implementing several development projects. The Russian ambassador said that the talks between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, in May tackled economic cooperation, including the Russian industrial zone in Egypt, as well as developments in the Middle East. He underlined Moscow's strong support for the efforts exerted by Egypt and mediators to halt the war. And Sharm el-Sheikh has become the first city in the country to join the International Council for Local Environmental Initiatives for Sustainable Stakeholders, Local Governments for Sustainability. The cabinet added that the city's admission recognizes its continued leadership in climate and biodiversity action, having hosted the UN Biodiversity Conference in 2018 and the UN Climate Change Conference COP27 in 2022. And Egypt's Ministry of Health has launched a nationwide emergency medical plan to support over 800,000 students during the final high school exams from June the 10th to July the 15th. Approved by the Health Minister, Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, the plan deploys 2,424 ambulances across the country to ensure rapid emergency response at exam centers and surrounding areas. The strategy includes ready oxygen supplies, essential medical equipment like defibrillators, and 24/7 ambulance coverage with vehicles stationed near exam sites and key routes. A dedicated emergency coordination room will monitor incidents and coordinate swift responses. The Egyptian Ambulance Authority will position ambulances strategically and allow transfers between provinces to maintain coverage where demand is highest. And Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli has attended the signing of multiple agreements between the government development partners and the private sector during the Development Financing to Empower the Private Sector Conference. The deals include major investments in renewable energy projects, such as the 1 gigawatt Obelisk solar plant and the 900 megawatt Shadwen wind farm developed by Norway's Skatec, with a total value of over $1.6 billion. Agreements also cover battery storage initiatives, cooperation with international financial institutions, and expansion of the Hafiz platform to enhance financial and technical support for private businesses. The platform now offers over 90 services from 44 development partners and has attracted nearly 18,000 users. Madbouli highlighted ongoing government efforts to strengthen the private sector's role as a key driver of Egypt's economic growth and sustainability, reaffirming commitment to structural reforms and increased investment partnerships. The European Union and Egypt has launched the EU-Egypt Investment Guarantee for Development mechanism, a platform designed to attract investments in clean energy, water management, sustainable agriculture, digital transformation, and SME growth. The platform seeks to mobilize up to €5 billion in investments by 2027, including €1.8 billion pledged under the EU-Egypt Strategic and Comprehensive Partnership. It will leverage funding from the European Fund for Sustainable Development Plus, alongside contributions from European and international financial institutions. By combining public and private sector resources, the mechanism aims to accelerate sustainable development projects that foster economic growth and environmental resilience in Egypt. And Egypt has been chosen as one of the 7 countries worldwide to benefit from the Climate Investment Fund's, the CIF, $1 billion industrial decarbonization program designed to cut emissions in the industrial sectors of developing nations. Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, Rania Al-Mashot, highlighted that the selection from 26 applicants reflects international confidence in Egypt's climate policies and green transition efforts. The program, launched under CIF's Clean Technology Fund, also includes Brazil, Mexico, Namibia, South Africa, Turkey, and Uzbekistan. The initiative aims to accelerate low-emission industrial systems, create green jobs, and tap into a global market for sustainable goods, estimated to reach a $2 trillion by 2030. Egypt's 2024 Mineral Resources Bid Round Number 1 has successfully concluded, attracting strong participation from 20 mining companies and 19 private firms. The Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources announced key winners for exploring glass, sand, and kaolin deposits in the Eastern Desert. El Arabiya Mining Company won the bid for glass sand in Sector GS1, while Sibelco Egypt secured 2 sectors, GS3 and GS4, for the same mineral. Pacific Mining and the International Company for Petroleum Industrial Services, INCOM, were awarded sectors for kaolin exploration. Glass sand is essential for glassmaking due to its high silica content, while kaolin is widely used in paper, ceramics, and paints. And Egypt's Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, Engineer Karim Badawi, has conducted an inspection tour at Alexandria Port to oversee the preparation of the LNG regasification vessel Energos Power ahead of its deployment to Ain Sokhna port. Minister Badawi highlighted that Egypt now operates 3 regasification ships, 1 already active at Ain Sokhna, and the new vessels, including Energos Power, will be linked to ports at Ain Sokhna to diversify supply sources and ensure fuel flow stability amid regional challenges. He also stressed ongoing coordination between the petroleum and electricity ministries to secure a stable fuel supply for power stations, including natural gas and liquid fuels like mazout and diesel. Al Ahly and Inter Miami played out a thrilling 0-0 draw in the opening match of the 2025 FIFA World Cup at Hard Rock Stadium. The game was marked by the outstanding goalkeeping from Al Ahly's Mohamed Al-Shenawi and Inter Miami's Oscar Ostari, who denied key scoring chances, including a penalty and close-range headers. Al Ahly dominated early chances, while Miami, led by Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, grew stronger after halftime but couldn't break through. Tensions rose with yellow cards for Suarez and Sergio Busquets. And Egypt braces for rising temperatures with hot weather expected on the northern coast and widespread mist on roads in several regions, including Cairo and Lower Egypt. Winds will occasionally affect the northwest coast and South Sinai. The Mediterranean and Red Sea will see moderate waves up to 3 meters, while the Suez Gulf faces rougher conditions. Daytime highs will reach up to 43 centigrade in Aswan, with cooler nights expected nationwide. And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin, and here's what we have been covering. The Egyptian president calls for the resumption of the U.S.-Iran negotiations. Egypt signs a $1.6 billion renewable energy private sector support deals. And Egypt is selected as one of the 7 countries to benefit from the CIF's $1 billion industrial decarbonization program to cut emissions in developing nations. And that's all for now, and remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments.